Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me again today. Today I am going to present a box that I haven't shown yet. I've been subscribing to them for a couple months now, and so far they've been really nice. So this one is the Wordy Traveler. It's a quarterly box, so you get it every 3 months, and this is actually the box that I received back in February 2021, so it's the winter 2021 box. And the way they work is that they have a destination that they present. So in this one, they were showing Japan. So they pick a different location every time and they give you items of that location to kind of like just transport you there. So I thought that was really interesting. It's really fun. I love learning about different cultures and places, and so it's a really cool way to travel without leaving your home. So there's different packages that you can get. You can get where you get one book and you pick whether you want a fiction or nonfiction. You can do one where you get 2 books and you get 1 fiction and 1 nonfiction. You can do 3 books, you can do 4 books. And so just depending on how many items you want to receive and how many books you want to get. So the least expensive box that you can get is called the Backpacker, and you get 1 book, and that one costs $54.99 for the box. Again, it's quarterly, so it's not like something you're going to be paying monthly. That's what that box costs. You can also go onto their website, and they have past boxes that they have on sale. If that's something you're interested in, you can try them out. So every box that you purchase, they provide some life-saving nutrition to either 2 children or pregnant women. So that's kind of a nice donation that they give. Every box contains ethically sourced premium tea. You also get collectible charms, limited edition printed art, a lot of nice artisanal type souvenirs. You get a nice amount of items, a nice little variety. Of course, my dog decides to eat when I decide to sit down and start filming, so pardon the sound of him eating. And what he likes to do is he likes to take a mouthful of food and then bring it and eat by me and then go back and do the same thing. He's a little he's a handful. Many of the items in these boxes are made by local artists. So they also don't ask for donations from the artists. They actually purchase the items from them at a fair price. And the items that they receive, they also purchase from local small businesses or family businesses, and again, they only and they pay fair prices for them, and they only purchase from these businesses that treat their employees fairly, that offer their employees fair wages, so that way they're supporting, you know, good-hearted businesses. So I like that. I really like that. So the first box I got, I did want to get a fiction and a nonfiction. So I did opt to get the one that had the 2 books. So I opted for 2 books, right? And it was really difficult for me to decide which one I wanted to read. I think this is the one, Untangling My Chopsticks, that was gonna come with my standard 1 book box. But this one looked really interesting and I wanted to try this one. So I'm like, I think this is gonna be the 2nd book. And I want to try to read it, Pachinko. So I went ahead and got it. And so I wasn't sure which one to read. And honestly, I wanted to read this one just because it's a lot smaller. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get through it way faster. And then I can like present this box sooner. But I really wanted to read Pachinko. And so I read Pachinko. Pachinko's like almost 500 pages. And it's actually got 3 books in it. So yeah, I can't wait to read this Untangling My Chopsticks, so Untangling My Chopstick, it's like a culinary type book. This one, it's like this saga with family and going through generations and just history on the things that were happening in Japan and Korea and China, and I'm like, oh, I really want to read Pachinko. They both seem really interesting to me. But I was really more intrigued by Pachinko. And maybe when I read Untangling My Chopsticks, I'll be like, you know what, I like that one more. I don't know, it could be, but I picked up Pachinko and I read Pachinko first. So Pachinko was so interesting, and there was so much that happened in that book. And so you go through like 5 generations in this book. So it starts like in 1910 and it ends in like 1989 or something like that. So it goes through quite a bit. And so it starts off with like this fisherman and his wife, and they were trying to have a baby, and they lost 3 sons trying, you know, because in those times it wasn't uncommon for a child to die. And they'd lost 3 sons until finally they had one named Hooney, and he had a cleft lip and he walked with a limp. So he was disabled, but he was such a good worker, a good person, and he made it, like he survived. And so when Hooney was like 27, the matchmaker, you know, they thought they were gonna have a hard time getting him a wife because of his disabilities. You know, it's interesting to read these books where it's almost like you're trying to market yourself, like, who's gonna want me as a wife when I have a limp? Who's gonna want me as a husband when I have this cleft lip? Like, it's interesting, like how things worked back then and over there. You know, I don't know that we did that here in the States, but at least, you know, in other countries, and you know, you do see the matchmaker stuff in Asia. I don't know if that still happens. Maybe it does, but anyway, I thought that was really interesting. So then they finally were able to get Hooney a match, and it was this really sweet girl. She's like 15 years old, which again, back in the times, that was like normal. And again, I don't know if that's still something that they do where they marry off that young. I think maybe in some parts in Asia that probably still happens, but and pardon my mispronunciations, because these names I'm not familiar with. I don't think there was any name. There's one name, Isaac, that I can tell you I'm not mispronouncing, but every other name I'm probably butchering. So they match Hooney up with Yangjin. And Yangjin was this 15-year-old girl, and she was like sheepishly quiet and sweet. And they were actually a good match. And then again with them, they were trying to have babies, and then they're losing babies. And then finally, like their 4th attempt, they have a daughter named Sunja. So at that time, there was a lot of stuff happening in the world, and there was a Great Depression worldwide. And so it was just really hard for simple folk and low income folk to make it. And so they, Hooney actually does also end up dying when Sunja was about 15 years old. He had tuberculosis, which again, we don't really see, at least not in the States, we don't really see people dying of that, but you know, in other parts of the world, you do see it. And it's just really unfortunate. So Hooney passes away. So now Yangjin is alone with Sunja, and they had their home where they would rent out rooms, not like bedrooms, but just basically like, let's say you transform your living room and you have room for 8 guys to, you know, sleep there. So that's what they would do. I think they called it a boarding house. So you would have these fishermen or, you know, people with different jobs. So they would rotate, or they would have night shift workers and day shift workers, and then they would pay for just a spot to sleep in. And they provided that, and they provided food for them as well. And so that's how Yangjin was able to make a living for her and for Sunja. And so I would say Sunja's kind of the star of the book. She, as a young girl, meets this man, and they kind of fool around, and she ends up getting pregnant. And his name was Hansu. And Hansu, he had money. He was like this businessman, and he had money, and he told her he'll take care of her and the baby, but he's married and he has a family like in Japan, so he was not gonna be her husband, but he would support her. And she was just like appalled. She didn't know he was married, and she didn't want that. She didn't want to be, you know, the mistress that he took care of. She wanted a husband, and so she like refused him and just no. So then one of the gentlemen that rented a space out in the boarding house, his name was Isaac, and Isaac tended to get sick a lot. And actually in the book he did get tuberculosis, but they took care of him and he got better. But he didn't anticipate his life was going to be very long, because throughout his childhood and his youth, Isaac tended to get sick, and he just knew that he'd probably die young because he was so sickly, and so he wasn't marketable as a husband, I guess you could say. And Sunja, you know, having a baby with another man also kind of wasn't marketable as a wife. So he's like, why don't we help each other out? Let's get married. So they get married, and he takes her off to Japan and raises the baby as it was his own. Never told the baby's name was Noah, about that he was really from another man. There's a lot of characters in this book. So then you meet Isaac's brother and his wife. And so the wife and Sunja, they, throughout the book, they were like sisters, and they never had babies. So then Noah was like a son to them as well. They lived together. So it was just really neat. It was a really beautiful story. Then Isaac and Sunja, they have a baby of their own named Mozasu. And so it's just neat. You learn a lot about the history. They'll refer to the war, and so they don't really explain details of the war, but the hardships that they had to endure because of the war. And Isaac was a minister. He ends up getting arrested. It was something about like him betraying or not standing for the emperor because of his religion. It was something crazy like that, and he gets arrested, and he was arrested for a while. And then when he was just so sick that he was just about dead, which was a few years later down the line, they just kind of dump him back at his home, and he dies at home. So now Sunja's a widow with 2 boys and a big secret. And just the things that she had to do. She started making candy. She started making kombucha and selling it at the market. Then she started making candy and selling it at the market. And just you see a lot of these women selling at the market. So that was how she made her living. This is how she contributed and was able to raise her boys. And then throughout the book, you just kind of see Hansu coming back into the book. And like, he was just always that guy that she just wanted to forget, but he just kind of made his appearances, or he would show up in her dream, and she didn't want Noah to know about Hansu. And it was just crazy. And then there were times that she needed Hansu's help. And so it's just kind of like, he was almost like a villain, but not really. Like, it was just, it was a really good book. So, a lot of stuff happening throughout her life, a lot of tragedies, a lot of good moments. So the book, it was just so good, and I would say it's good for anybody. Like, I subscribe to Once Upon a Book Club, which I love, but I would say that box is kind of geared towards women, very girly stuff. Like, just looking at the boxes that you receive, they're pink, and the items that you get are very girly. And I'm not trying to say that if you're a man you shouldn't buy it or you shouldn't like it, because if you have a stronger feminine side, maybe something you like. And I'm also not saying it's for all women, because maybe some women aren't into that girly stuff. But I would say Once Upon a Book Club is kind of more geared towards the girly girl type audience. But this one is really gender neutral, if you ask me. The book, at least, was very, I think it would be something that men and women would enjoy if you like that sort of like a history, if you like tragedy, regret, growth, you know, just, it was really good. It was really good. I'm really happy to have read this book. I can't wait to read the next one. But now for the items. So they come with this little envelope, and inside it kind of has a card that one will tell you about the items that you're getting. I'll go through that after I go through the items. But another one will kind of lists music and movies and things like that to transport you to Japan. So they actually have Wordy Traveler on Spotify. I don't have Spotify. Maybe it's something I'll look into getting, but they have a Japan playlist that you can listen to that kind of just takes you to Japan. And then they list some movies, some Japanese cinema. I haven't seen any of these movies, so I'm not sure exactly if it's like just showing you how they do their movies or if it's something that really teaches you about their history. I'm not really sure. One of the movies, this is Godzilla. Then they have a recipe for a 3-color dango dumpling. So I haven't made that, but just a snack. I guess it's something popular there. So I thought that was kind of neat, especially if you have Spotify. I'll have to get Spotify and see how that soundtrack thing works. So then the items that you get, here is the print card that I got. So here you have the fine art print with this box. I think it's beautiful, and it has this little frame part to it as well. It just looks very very professionally done, very beautiful. I love the colors to it. Something that I do want to buy a nice little frame to be able to put it up somewhere. So it's really nice, really nice. So I'm gonna put that somewhere. Then you get, oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about, some tea. You know, I'm gonna have to make me this tea. It's from the Ohio Tea Company. It's a green tea, steamed green tea from Shizuoka, Japan. So I'm gonna go make it. I'll be right back. All right, so I got my tea in here. Let's see, it's really hot. That's hot, but it tastes really good. That is good green tea. Green tea is not my favorite, but of the green teas, that's probably the best one I've had. It's really nice. I don't know, it's a steamed green tea. I bought this green tea once for my Keurig and I really did not like it. I don't know if it was just processed differently or what, but this tastes very nice, very natural, very light. I like this green tea. Cool. So the bookmark you get, this says Lake Suwa in Shinano Province. So by Katsushika Hokusai, designed by Krianoso LLC. I read that back here. It's really pretty. A little flimsy, but not too bad. It's cute. I like it. It's very pretty. And I guess you can like tie a little string up on here. There's a little perforation. All right. These are so good. I don't know if you've ever had these high chews. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. Since I live in Florida, Epcot is something that I've been to often. We've had Disney passes and I couldn't tell you how many times I visited Epcot. And one of the countries that Epcot has is Japan, and you can get these high chews in Japan. And so when we would go, there's been numerous times that I'm like, I go to Japan into the stores and buy myself a high chew. This is like, let's say Starburst is Target. I love Target. I love Starburst. But then you get Gucci. This is the Gucci of the Starburst. So this is really good. Very flavorful. We also get it at our local Asian markets here. Sometimes I'll go there too and I'll buy some of these. I don't go for these. I'll go for other things. Like they have good price on ginger and stuff like that. But high chews are good. And this is another item that we got. This is interesting. I'm gonna have to try this. It's probably something that I will forget I even have, honestly, unless it turns out to be super awesome. But It's a reading ring and bookmark. You know, like sometimes you're reading and the book is kind of closing on you a little bit. So with this, you put the ring in your thumb and it keeps the book open. I don't know that I'm really gonna use it that much. I don't know. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. And bookmark, I don't know how I would use it as a bookmark. Maybe you'd have to put it this way, I guess. But then it's very small, you know, like it doesn't go through very much, so it might slip out easily. We'll see. Maybe I'll put it on my nightstand and see if it comes in handy, but I don't see it being something I'm really gonna use. This is the charm. Like how they come in these cute little bags. Even the high chews came in a cute little bag like that, but this is super pretty. It's a cute little pinky color and yellow gold around it. I don't think it's real gold, but it looks like it. It's very pretty though. It looks very fine. Like it's glossy and it just looks delicate, very pretty. I'll have to find somewhere to put that. That's very pretty. Too pretty to just put in a drawer and forget about. Awesome. Look at that. That's cool. Oh, I should have used that for my tea. Oh, a little teacup. Oh, this is beautiful, you guys. Look at that. So this a little teacup. Oh, this is so cute. I would love a set like this. This is really pretty. You know, and I have kind of looked through this box back when I got it, and I forgot that it came with this teacup. I should have washed it and used it for my tea, but that's beautiful. And then the last item is a fan. Look at how it's packaged. So this is the fan. Isn't that cute, you guys? Look at that fan. Oh my gosh. You know, on my vanity, I have this little book of like Post-its, and I use that like to kind of like dry my face after like I fixing spray and stuff. And I saw Patrick Ta sells a fan, but it's like a solid pink color. It's cute, but it's expensive. And I'm like, I'm not gonna buy that fan when I can just use an envelope for my makeup. But this is going in my vanity because this is really pretty, and this would like go really pretty on a vanity. Oh, look at the detail here, and just, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And it just shuts so pretty. There. I like that. So this box I find absolutely gorgeous. So this is that list of items. So here it says backpacker because that's the subscription box that I got. I did opt to get that extra book. So cherry blossom charm, get the bookmark, you get the tea, the fan. I'm trying to read. Oh, that's gotta be the that art print. Then this is the tea. Wait a minute. Oh, the teacup. This was teacup. I'm sorry. I'm reading like in reverse here. So the teacup and then the actual tea. And then this says what? Oh, okay. Donation to Vitamin Angels. So this is some vitamins. So it provides an entire year's worth of nutrition to 2 children. Oh, that's really sweet. I really like that. So that's it. That was this box. Love it. Love, love, love it. I would highly recommend this box to anybody, any age, any gender, anybody. It's beautiful. It's really nice, especially if it's someone who is interested in learning about different places. And just like, I love the donation aspect of it. And I love that they're supporting these local businesses that are ethical. So anyway, that's it. I'm gonna finish off my tea. It was really nice, real enjoyable. I'll put the details in my description on how you can subscribe or try them out or just visit their website, see what you like. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and continue to watch and give this a thumbs up if you liked it. Thank you. Have a great one. Bye.